one thing, and I got this in my notes, and I have to say it, Pasty. AEW has done the fucking lights out thing in almost every one of their shows so far. It does have its place, but man, this was played out way back in the fucking 90s. They need to stop fucking doing the lights out. It's old, it's tired, be original, find something better. Do it once a fucking year, maybe, but you don't have to do it every single show except for maybe one they've done this.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I think it's lost its luster.
Yeah.
That's me, I'm sorry.
Oh, I got something I'm going to say a little later on in the night.
Okay,
so.
you let it out, buddy.
Oh, I will.
I want you to let it flow.
But that's later.
Okay, well, what do we got now?
Well, winner receives a one-on-one shot at the inaugural women's title on the first episode.
Against Nyla Rose.
Against Nyla Rose. And, of course, Riho defeated Hikaru Shida.
Obs. I would say obs.
Yeah. Totally.
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
No. But she's like the darling of the women's division, I think.
Oh,
in most
she's
people's
my
eyes.
Darling, and not even in a sexual way. I just mean in a wrestling way. I've fallen in love with her.
Her and Nyla are going to put on such a good match. They're going to put on such a good match.
They are right now my two favorite women in AEW, so I'm so happy that they're in this, because I'm going to be happy with either one of them. As I said, I think pre-air, Pasty, I'm rooting for Riho just from her background and her ring work, but I'll be super okay with either one of them.
Honestly, like the backlash that Nyla gets just for being who she is pathetic, but there's a lot of it.
Yep.
I think they're going to let the mass people think that she's going to win it, and I think Riho's going to take it in the end.
But I'd be okay with all the backlash coming. They just stick it to everybody and let Nyla fucking win it.
Right.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
This is
people
the best case scenario.
All it does is draws more attention to AEW in general.
And the worst thing is because I love real wrestling fans, and I hate human beings. And how I'm going to explain this is real wrestling fans are super excited to see Riho and Nyla Rose in a match together, and real wrestling fans are going to be super happy with either one of them being the first women's champion of AEW for different reasons. But human beings, if Riho wins, is going to say the only reason Riho won is because of Nyla Rose's past, which again we're not going to bring up here, but we're just going to say this. And if Nyla Rose wins, everybody is going to bitch and say it's because of Nyla Rose's past. Human beings are going to bitch no matter who wins. The exact same human beings.
Oh yeah,
are going to bitch either way.
Not even just wrestling fans. They're going to bitch about it.
I think wrestling fans
are the most negative, one of the most negative groups of people I've ever been a part of.
See, I disagree. I think those are human beings who watch wrestling. I think wrestling fans
filthy
are going to be
casuals.
happy. I don't know. No, I don't even think it's the casuals. I think it's the diehards, Pasty. But I think they're... I don't know how to say it better than they're just human beings. I don't like human beings. They're disgusting creatures. I like people. I love people. So many people. Human beings are disgusting. Just fucking disgusting. I have a story that I'm not going to tell right now. I might say it when we're done, Pasty, about a guy at work, and it just... I don't like being a pale native because people will say the most fucking racist things to me, and
not knowing.
And I can't punch them. I want to, but I can't. No, I can't.
No.
I got a son and other kids that I have to take care of who aren't even mine, so I can't. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the match, Pasty. We've just talked. All we've talked about is the pre and the post. What about the match? That's how big this is. This is huge.
It was a solid match. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because I was focused on other things.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this. I thought the first thing I noticed, from the very beginning, visually, the size difference played a huge part for fans who are unfamiliar with these two because easily it positioned Riho as the babyface and Shida as the heel without anybody having to know and being fed that information. You know, people who aren't familiar with them, they knew right away. Riho's the face. She's working uphill to take out
I want to see Riho as a heel.
And I loved this. This was amazing. This is what you wanted. They had great pace, great back and forth action, told a story. You left this match believing that Riho deserves to be the first AEW Women's Champion. But I think both of them held back just enough that the match on the first episode on TNT can be better than this. Fast-paced, strong story. Both were excellent performers. I love this match. It wasn't the best match of the night, but it was up there for me.
It was the best women's match of the night.
Too right. Best women's match on the main card.
Mm-hmm. That was a good match. I'm glad Riho won. I thought since the jump that she was going to be at least in the title picture for the first title spot. So it's good to see that come full circle.
I was happy.
Up next, we had the grudge match with Cody and a secret partner versus Sean Spears and Tully Blanchard.
And who would have known that Cody's secret partner would have been a Trekker?
Right. They are all dressed up as Star Trek, which is pretty cool.
Do we know what that was about? Is Fox running the new Star Trek series? I don't think so. Not Fox. TNT would be. They're not doing it.
Are they with CBS, though? It's CBS.
The CBS owned... I think it's NBC USA, but I could be wrong.
NBC USA, but TNT...
Oh, fuck, yeah, TNT. Sorry. Man, there's too many... Oh, there's too many initials. Acronyms everywhere. All I see is letters. I feel like Jim Carrey in 23, but it's letters. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I didn't... They never explained... that's another thing. I mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. They don't explain things to people that they should. Why are they coming out dressed as Star Trek? Does it have something to do with who you're in business with? Is Cody a huge Trek fan? You know, what?
I think they just like to do special costumes for wrestling fans because they know wrestling fans are nerds.
Which is cool. I dig that. I mean, just say something. Just say something. Say something!
Well, I mean, when you're going into a match with Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard, why are you going to pick MJF as your guy? You're one person to bring in.
Am I the only one who thought he was going to pick the dog?
I thought so too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I thought he was going to pick the dog. He probably
was going to pick the dog until the dog fucked around in the entranceway and didn't want to come out. And he's like, "Oh, fuck you, dog. I'll take MJF. He's at least obedient."
One thing I want to say, and I'll explain it later on when we get to it, or maybe right now, I don't know. But I think that was the biggest mistake of this whole match. Was him picking MJF. I think it ruined the match.
MJF doesn't know how to manage, and that definitely showed.
Well...
And it just didn't make sense. And it didn't play out into anything. MJF didn't turn on him. And then MJF got made to be a bitch by Tully Blanchard, which is not good for MJF.
See, honestly, I thought that this match advanced the Cody MJF story and not really the Cody Spears story. Mm-hmm. I think Spears did well as a heel. I'm still waiting to see what he's got. You know what I mean? I'm still not sure.
Dig the whiteout contact lenses on Sean Spears.
Yeah, they're okay.
It works.
I don't know if I dislike them or like them. I'm not saying they're bad. Cody, I still feel is a much better heel than a face, and I think this showed again. The small teases that MJF might turn, I really liked them. And with him constantly, like, accidentally distracting the referee at the most inopportune times for Cody. And that was cool. The Arn Anderson cameo and Pasty, did I not say Arn Anderson worked there? He should be I thought he was going to be the second. I thought he was, but he came out.
It would have made sense with Tully Blanchard
more than
and
MJF.
Arn Anderson. Yeah.
The crowd popped, though. They knew who he was, which I was worried about.
The best part, though, was when I love that he did what he had to do, and then he walked away, and he told Tully, "Not now, Tully, but soon," or something like that.
I want to see that.
And then Tully still followed him out of the arena. Like, what are you talking about?
Right? What's going on, man?
But are we getting the boys back together?
To me, this match was more about MJF and Cody than Spears and Cody, and this had the biggest
more about
story.
Arn and Tully. That's going to be the next big match.
Those two were bigger than Cody and Spears.
We all bitch about WWE wanting to bring in some 50-year-old guys to wrestle, and this is going to happen.
And I'm not going to say that's even bad, because when done correctly, I don't dislike it. When done correctly,
Rock and Roll Express still has good matches.
Yeah. But with the fact that this had the biggest story heading into it, this had the least story in the match, and that's super disappointing.
One thing I appreciate about Cody is every one of it. I mean, this was lacking in story, but it was still the most story match out of the pay-per-view. And
I don't think so.
I like that you can go into a Cody match expecting a story.
Well, do you mean the most storied match? Do you mean the most storied match going into?
Yeah, because I mean, it just kind of it didn't really do a whole lot, but still, like, I like that Cody's whole thing is like he's not the best wrestler, but he can make you feel shit with stories.
Okay, but I still feel there were matches that told more story than this one.
Probably, but I mean the story going into it and what'll still come from it. I don't know.
I definitely assume that there are more matches
every time I think
on the
about
way
Cody,
between
I
these
harken
two.
right back to Cody versus Dustin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I understand them holding back some, but it too little. You can boil it down to one sentence, Pasty. Too little wrestling, too much interference.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But we go from that, which was somewhat of a letdown, I think, to everybody. I would assume to Cody and Sean it was probably a letdown. I think they went to the back saying maybe it wasn't their worst match, but saying, God, we could have done better. We went into the Escalada de la Muerta for the AAA tag team titles. Lucha Brothers defeating the Young Bucks in a death ladder match for the tag titles, in a match where I said, holy shit, Nick Jackson is still alive.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, he never got into the match after he took that botch. But I haven't heard anything since about him being injured, so he must have just really knocked himself silly.
He got really lucky. I watched interviews after the fact that he had said
who don't know what we're talking about, I'll just explain what happened. This match had so many spots in the best ways. But in what is a normal ladder match spot, Nick was on the top of the ladder, and I want to say it was Penta El Cerro or Pentagon Jr. that pushed the ladder over onto what was supposed to be on a two ladder set outside the ring. But when Nick was falling off the ladder onto those tables, his feet caught the top rope, and so it jerked his head down. So he hit the first table.
It was almost as bad as the Enzo bouncing off the ropes thing.
Almost, because he went head first onto the side of the one table, and then I think he got his hands up, but still head first, maybe with his hands blocking onto the ground. So he hit hard. Instead of hitting flat with his belly or back, he went head first down. It was not good. It was scary.
He got super lucky, because that could have been so bad.
Exactly. We could have been talking about a death, if not a career-ending injury, and it didn't. So that's cool. We had a Canadian destroyer off of the top of the ladder onto a table,
yeah, we did.
which again looked so scary. But I've watched it multiple times, and what's funny is when you first see it, it's like, holy shit, that's the scariest looking move ever. And I've watched it multiple times now, and the way these two guys worked, it looks like the most safest move ever.
Yep.
Holy shit, if they did not take care of each other. I was like, wow. I would take that move from these guys. That is amazing. We had a...
I gotta also say, I like the Bucks' entrance with their lucha masks.
Lucha.
And the Cero Mero and then the Cero Huevos. That was good. Classic Bucks.
I gotta say that I didn't watch this live, and I skipped every entrance, so I don't know what anybody's entrance was.
They had lucha masks, but they were like buck skulls, and they had antlers on them.
That's cool. I do know one entrance thing that I have a beef with, and we'll talk about that later, and you know what it is, Pasty. I'm assuming. We haven't talked about it, but I would hope you have the same beef with it.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
One thing that was, yep, you know exactly what it is.
I think we're all on the same page now.
That was good. I like that. One thing that was cool that you don't see a lot of is they did a lot of tandem moves in this